On it's time for tea crafting live. Hello, sorry that we are a little bit late today. I'll just check that we are now live. Looks like we are, so let's hello. So yeah, how is everyone? Obviously we just give everyone a little bit of a chance to join us. A little bit delayed today because for some reason it decided to disconnect us from Facebook, which is nice, but then it actually hadn't. So it told me it had, but it hadn't. So a little bit of configuration was required there. So let me just make sure that you can hear me. Oh, you can. Excellent. So we are up and running. So, hello, how are we all on this Friday, this bank holiday Friday, which is exciting. And I'd completely forgotten that it was a bank holiday until earlier this week. And then it was, goodness, what are we doing? Have we planned anything? So, we have, you may have noticed, I'll just close that door in case Anthony comes home. I never know which way I'm supposed to be there. I'm a bit more central there. That's better, isn't it? It looks like I'm trying to leave. So yeah, we have got a bank holiday sale. So if you've not yet been to the website, do go and have a look. In fact, I think I can give you a little look at it. She says, let's have a look, see if I can. Trying some new things today to see if we can get them to work, but who knows, maybe not. Let's have a look. So let's move this across, see if you can see. So the Time for Tea shop is here, and it should come up at some point to show you the sale. You saw it there, 40% off. So you will need a code in order to use to take advantage of the 40%. So the code is Bonanza, all in capitals. So and you get 40% off everything. I think the only things that aren't on sale are the stamp and die collections, which are already discounted. So you can buy the stamp and die separately and get a bigger discount than if you were to just buy the collection together, if that makes sense. Hello Shani, how are you? She says, fantastic sale, I'm definitely going to be putting in an order for sure. Oh, that's fab. Yeah, it is a really good sale. We did want to take advantage of the sale period, of course, and it being bank holiday, and people might be, because if I'm honest, and I know we have people, hello Annalisa, you are one of those people that is tuning in from far away from the UK, but the weather here in the UK is definitely not bank holiday vibes. It really is miserable. So, but in a way, in some regards, I do quite like that, because that means you don't feel guilty for stopping inside and just getting your craft on. So it's the perfect weekend to be doing some crafting, perfect weekend to be doing a little bit of craft shopping as well. So so have a little look around and see what you can find that you perhaps haven't already got in your Time for Tea stash. So today then, well, obviously, because this is a site-wide sale, I can use absolutely anything in the shop today to put something together that you could possibly get 40% off, couldn't I? So the world is my oyster. If anybody's got any suggestions of what they might like me to craft with, then do let me know. Because I haven't really had time to think about what we might want to do, because of just getting ready for the weekend. So do you know what I am going to do? I am going to we have got a few things that have come back in stock, One being the Dig It stencil. I Really Dig You stencil, and obviously the I Really Dig You stamps and dies. We don't have many of those left actually, so that is a little bit of a warning. If that's on your wish list, I don't think there are many of the stamps left. However, it is the stencil is back in stock, so we have a little bit of those available, and I haven't used that, I don't think, since it was released because it kept going out of stock. So I'm thinking this might be my perfect opportunity to use those stamps and the stencil, so I'm going to do that. Annalisa says, do an interactive card, then we get to spend more time with you. Well, that is very cute. Thank you, Annalisa. I wish I had more time to spend and to be here for many, many hours, but unfortunately, time is not our friend here at Time for Tea. We do have many things that we've got to do, and even though technically speaking, this live is organised to be kind of the end of the working day on a Friday. It never actually is. So I have got a number of things that I need to do after the live today to prepare for a number of things. One being that we do have another Hobby Maker show next Saturday. So not tomorrow, but a week on Saturday. So we're on Hobby Maker again then. And I could potentially do something to prepare for that, which would be quite handy. But also we're preparing for a new release, so the new release is probably going to be middle of June, around that sort of time, which seems a long way away, but actually in all reality that is very, very soon. So I'm panicking a little bit because I've got a lot to do. So yeah, so there's a lot still to be done, I'm afraid. But Annalise is saying, yes, do something to prep. I could definitely do that. And did we not say this week that we were going to do a bit of colouring in? So if I use the Dig It stencil, I'm really not going to get any colouring in done. But although, having said that, I don't think I've got any of the I Really Dig You stamps coloured up. So we could spend a bit of time colouring them, couldn't we? So, right, let's get to it. Otherwise, we'll be here all day just listening to me jabber on. So let me move things over to... I'm just going to move... In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you this again, because this is, again, just seeing if I can make things work, to be honest with you. Let's have a look. So this is all the details that you need about the sale. So grab those details. When we come to the overhead, the system will tell you the screen will tell you our website, but I'm sure most of you know the Time for Tea Designs website by now. When we've got a cat, so I shall bring you back to overhead because we do have a cat. Oh, she's gone. She came to visit and then she was gone again. She'd heard that Aunt had just arrived, so she's gone to say hello to him. So you can see we've now got some fancy text at the top of the screen that tells you where to shop, which is quite cool. Right, I need some stamps and dies, don't I? Let's have a look. Let's have a look and see where these stamps and dies are that I need. So this is my little pack of my little box of stamps. So which ones are we going to go for? Where are they going to be? They're obviously not going to be in this one, are they? Let's be right. They are going to 100% be in my other box. The Cafe Critters, if you see those, they're going to be on Hobby Maker next week. Yay, they're there, look. They were in this set. Oh, well, hello there. Hi again. You come to say hello. Holy moly. Holy moly, Arnold. So this is Arnie who's come to say hello. You don't normally come to get involved, do you? Come on. You come in on here. Shall we see if we can get you on the webcam? Shall we see if we can get you on there? Oh, you know, you're not looking. You're going to say hello to everyone with your big fluffy tail. Oh, we're having a lay down. Okay. That's very cute. So, yeah, this is the usual cat interruption. So this is the little cat interlude where we have a cat that wants cuddles and won't let me get on with anything. He's literally fully laid on my arm. It is making biscuits in the air, aren't you? Aren't you cute? I've got crafting live to do. I've got a crafting live to do. I can't be cuddling you. No. You are cute though. So, what do you think, Arnold? What are we going to do? Are you going to help me pick a stencil? Pick my stencil out. Look at these fluffy feet. They're ridiculous, aren't they? I would cuddle you all day if I could. They're so silly, Annalisa. They're absolutely daft, aren't you? But I can't get anything done. Right, stencils. Here we go. Are you going to help me with my stencils? These are also 40% off. So it's a great time to get yourself one of these. We have the storage pockets as well at 40% off, and they are they're great for storing your stencils, as you can see. So, and this is the Dig It background. I keep calling it the Dig It background, but I think it's actually called the I Really Dig You stencil because it matches with the stamps. So, come here. Oh, it's still in its packet. That's why I can't get it out. So normally I don't keep them in the cellophane wrapper. We get rid of that and then I just pop them in like so. So it is called the Dig It background. I don't know what I'm talking about. So that's that. So then I probably need an idea of what how I'm going to pop this together in terms of what card shape am I going to go for. I Can Spy the new release next to me. I'm very tempted to use it, but we can't. Not yet. I've not even, tried any of the samples yet, so it is that hot off the press. I need a card base, I know that much. So let's get to my card base. Is that an A6 or I need an A6 card base, and I feel like I might have to open some new ones because I don't think I've got any. Here we go. Here we go. So I'm just you can't really see me at the moment, but I have got all of these lovely lovely card blanks that I can open up now. So I've got my A6 card blanks, top folding ones. So yeah, they are my go-to. They're the ones that we do have on the website, although I have to say we may not have many of those as well. And then while I'm searching about for things, as we do, I am just going to double check. You lost me there again. So I do have here one that I have, here's one that I did earlier, a background. So I have a whole stash of bits and bobs that I have already kind of coloured in, or backgrounds that I've inked up, or frames that I've not used, and I just wanted to see if I had got any of those little critters, but I don't think I have. So we shall go back to the overhead situation. I feel really technical, like I know what I'm doing, but I actually don't. Okay. No, we haven't got any of those. So what I do have here though, which I am going to have a look at, just to have a little see, is I do have my Get Well Soon in a lovely funky glittery cardstock, although I don't think that will go with the Dig It background. So, but I am considering making this a Get Well card for a couple of reasons. Everybody at the moment seems to be poorly, including myself and Aunt. We've been suffering with the dreaded lurg for what seems like forever. So, so it seems like there's always somebody that you could send a Get Well card to. However, do moles go with Get Well cards? I'm not sure. So this is my background that I've got here. We'll wing it. We can make it a birthday. I mean, holy moly, it's your birthday is a pretty cool sentiment, so I think we may well go with that. So we've got our cute little Dig It background here, and I'm thinking it might be quite cool to make this into a square card and cut a little aperture out of the middle, maybe a little bit of a little hole in there where we could have our little mole peeking out with the holy moly, it's your birthday. Holy moly, it's your birthday. So he could just be peeking out of the hole there, and then we could have some of these other elements around the outside. That could be quite cute, couldn't it? Should we do that? I like that idea. I'm not going to use this though, because I want to show you how I created this background. So we'll use another piece of cardstock for this, and then I'm going to make a 6x6 card blank. So these are actually cut to 6x6 size, so love that. So I've already used my square nesting dies to cut my shape here, so that's handy, isn't it? But I think I might need to cut another one. So I've got out all of those lovely card blanks in A6 size, and I'm actually going to use a 6x6 card base. But you know, that's absolutely fine. Right, so card base, we want a 6x6. We want our simple square nesting dies, which are these, and the largest of which is the 6x6. So I'm going to take that. Oh, that's not the biggest one, is it? That's the biggest one. And I'm going to cut another piece of this white card, or am I? You know what, I'm not going to do that, because I'm going to make my card base out of some darker cardstock. So So I'm going to make it out of a really lovely rich brown. So let's have a look here. I've got some lovely brown cardstock. It's almost a chocolatey colour, and I will tell you the colour of it, which is I believe it is the hot chocolate. But this is a really nice rich colour for our card base, because then our stencil will sit on the back of that, and that will just look a really sumptuous colour scheme. So pop my die onto here. Sorry, I'm just having a little think about what I was doing then, make sure I know what I was doing, because my thoughts were, this is I would say this is about 180 to 200 GSM. Not ideally what I would use for a card base, because you want it to be quite strong if it's going to be supporting the weight of if you're going to be adding different embellishments and things. So I may have a 6x6 card base that I can then pop this on top of. So let's get this cut first, and then we can cross that bridge. Here. So yeah, I've got a 6x6 card base. I've also got one cut out of craft card, which actually would look really quite nice with this as well, wouldn't it? So there is the opportunity maybe to use the craft card base, but like I said, this does give a really good contrasting colour because it is just that little bit darker. So let's have a look. Oh, I can't pick it up with my nails. So we've got it against the and I'm going to take this edge as being the bit that's next to the colour, because this hasn't got a white border, so I'll have to cut it to that size or against that, and I think it just pops against the darker colour that little bit more. So I'm going to pop this onto the front of here, being my card base, and then we can layer up our stencil on the back of that. So I'm going to hang on to these bits, the scraps of the brown though, because we can use those perhaps for sentiments. So let's tidy up a bit after ourselves here, because I've got sentiments sticking to myself and all kinds. Okay, goes there. And we'll use that as our inspiration, because that's what we want to emulate, isn't it? And there. Can go in there as well. Very nice. Right, I think we're a bit more organised now, which is what we want. So let's stick this onto here. Make sure it's the right way up. So how is everybody then this week? And I'm sorry that we weren't here last week. Like I was saying, everybody at the moment is coming down with some sort of a infection. So yeah, it's seems to be everybody that you speak to at the moment is that they're coming down with all kinds of lurgy. So last week was my turn. I actually lost my voice completely, so obviously doing this would have been very difficult because you'd been able to hear me. So I was basically in my bed for 2 days and trying not to talk because it suggests don't talk. So I just have a drink and trying to get better, hoping that magically eventually it would go away, which it did, but only in the last my voice started to come back after 3 or 4 days, but the feeling ill, having a horrible cough, feeling very kind of bunged up and not being able to breathe, all of those horrible, oh hello, we've got another visitor, all of those things were that lasted up until probably yesterday was the first day that I felt myself again. Hello there, little one. Shall we see if we can see you on the webcam, and then you can say hello to, all I can see is your big fluffy bum, your big fluffy tail. I'm going to cover up my stamps so that you don't get fluff on them. But now you're going to lay down, aren't you, all over everything? Do you want to come and say hello to everyone? Let's pop the webcam on and see if they can see you. All they can see is your big fluffy tail. Look this way. Look this way. Look this way. Say hello. Hello. She says, no, I just want to come and sit on your knee. Right, okay. She's going to come and sit on my knee now. Okay. Honestly, these cats are so needy. They're so needy, aren't you? You're so needy. Right, let's go back to some business now that you've settled down a bit. Oh, you're too cute. So, for this one, we're going to need some shades of brown because we're making an earthy look that's now got little bits of fluff from Madame Maisie on it. So I'm going to have to reach up here a little. Probably used a combination of different browns. Tea dye and ground espresso look like pretty good options. Let's have a look with a frayed burlap's a bit too grey, I think. Gathered twigs might be a good one. Can we reach that high? Let's grab it. There we go. Yeah, the gathered twigs might be a good one. So let's try some of the tea dye. Now I'm doing here what I usually advise against doing, which is I'm using a distress ink and then a distress oxide ink on this with the same brush. Which will not damage the brush in any way. It's just sometimes that those inks don't work so well together. But the tea dye doesn't seem to have that issue. So I'm just added a bit of tape at the edges there. And then I'm going to go in with the tea dye. Now the tea dye is quite a warm orangey kind of a brown, isn't it? Which is going to give us a really nice warm soil effect, but is a little bit warmer than the colour that we've got going on here. So so it's going to be a different soil effect to the one that we did originally. Hello there. So I've literally got just here a little Maisie sat on my knee just watching me. Can you watch him? So does anybody have any crafty plans for the bank holiday? Anybody going away and maybe taking some of their crafty goodies with them, or spending time with family maybe? What's everyone up to? I'm hoping to go and see my mum. Those of you that are regular viewers here will know that my mum's not been very well either very recently. She was in hospital for a period of time, well, for a long time actually, and she is home now. She's on the mend. The oh, I'm going to chew my microfiber cloth there. There was a concern, you know, that it might be something more serious, but as it turns out, all of the results have come back that, you know, there's nothing too sinister going on. I think the overall feeling is that it's something called colitis, which I don't really know a great deal about, I have to say. I'm trying to find some information out about it, but it is we're not getting a lot of information from the GP, unfortunately, on that one. But yeah, the main thing is that she's on the mend. I don't know how she managed not to put her foot in that ink then. You're being so helpful, Maisie, aren't you? So helpful. So, but I've wanted to go and see her. We went to see her when she got out of hospital, sort of the week or so after, because she wasn't up to visitors straight away. But then I got ill, so then I didn't want to go and see her again and give her what I've had when she's already quite weak after being in hospital. So it's then been another bit of you know, break since I've been able to go and see her, which is rubbish. So you see, we're creating quite a different look here with this, with what I'm doing today with the colour combinations. So this shows you just, you know, different mixes of your inks will create a really different view, which is lovely. So yeah, I'm liking this so far. So we could even deepen that even further if we wanted to, with a bit of ground espresso. Yeah, a little bit down here maybe, and just to give it that little bit of a more of an earthy feel. I'm not going to worry too much about the middle, because I'm probably going to cut some of that out. So so yeah, I'm just going to keep adding a little bit of darkness around some areas. So I think that is giving it a really nice earthy tone. I mean, the great reveal once we take this off is going to be the real test of how good this looks. Doing this onto a paler, so if you a good idea would be as well, let's take this as a background, because obviously the gaps that we're going to leave are going to be white, but if you were to stencil this onto maybe some craft cardstock, you're then going to get that background of the cardstock there, which again will give it a different vibe and a different kind of depth. What are you playing with that you shouldn't be over there? Oh, she's playing with a bit of cardstock. She's so cute. So yeah, I might show you that in a second. The other thing that you might be able to do, which I haven't tried, is to add a bit of water to the stencil and see if you can use a bit of that as a negative. I don't know how much colour would be on the edges, but you can see that if I just lift that up ever so slightly, just how much colour there is there. So maybe that would make an effect. I don't know. Who knows? We could try it. There's only one way to find out, isn't there? Now, I want to do the ink splatter that's on here, and I'm in two minds as to do I do it while the stencil's in place, and then I won't get any dots on my cracks, if that makes sense. So I am a little bit tempted to do that, you know. Should we see what that looks like? And then I am adding a bit of I guess, a bit of water to my background as well at the same time. You're being very cute. So let's use some of this ground espresso. I'm going to put that directly onto my craft mat here, and I'm going to grab my paintbrush. Got an old paintbrush, some water here. Let's just dilute this down, and then I'm going to tap a little bit of the excess off. There we go, and then tap that onto my background. So I didn't want big giant splodges, so I did tap away from my project first, and then we know we're getting the right size of splatter. That looks grand actually, so I'm quite happy with that. Put that out of the way. What are you doing? Okay, so we'll pop that to one side, and then let's remove this this stencil if we can. So that this can dry. Trying to take it off as carefully as possible, because if we do want to do an experiment with the negative. But how gorgeous does that look? I mean, that looks so nice. It could also almost be like the shells of a turtle potentially. So I might use the back of this just as a little bit of an experiment, and I'm going to spray water over the top of this, but I'm going to do it away from my desk, because otherwise my desk will be very wet. Maisie thought was a bit like, what was that? So let's turn this over. Which way around? I'll have to do it this way around. Okay, let's try. Lower it down. Oh, there we go. Lower it down, press it down. Like I said, I don't know if there was enough ink on there for this to... Try not to get any on my clothes as well. Press that down. See what happens. And let's lift that up. Oh yeah, not enough ink really. You can see that it's because it's such a narrow stencil, there's really not enough ink for that to transfer. But you know, you've got to try these things. So let's wipe our stencil clean and the surface clean. We'll pop that to one side because we're not going to be using that one anyway. So that's that. And I just have another little drink of tea. Now I'm not going to put this away because I am going to stencil into the background of this, because I don't think I want it to be brown. I don't think so anyway. So obviously we're going to layer this onto here. So I'm going to cut this down again with my square nesting dies. So square nesting dies. Let's see what size. This one's the next size down. You can see that, look, that just fits in there and gives a nice narrow border. So that could fit really quite nicely around there. Or the one below it will take off those edges, making them very crisp, but we'll leave a bigger border around the outside. So I think I'm going to go with this one for now, because this is going to leave a little bit of a white border as well, which I quite like the idea of. So let's pop that there. Let me line this up where I want it. Is that about right? I think that's about right. Put that on there. I'm really pleased with how the stencils come out, and how can you see that the splatters haven't gone into those little white spaces either, so it just keeps that looking really clean. So my next trick is I need my circle dies now. So let's grab my circle dies. Where are you, circle dies? There you are. So my circle dies I'm going to use to cut out my aperture. So let's have a look at these. So I was thinking of probably having this guy, wasn't I? Was going to be peering out of the little hole. So what are we saying about this size here? It's going to look pretty cute, isn't it? So he's going to sit there. Popping out of there, that would be really cute. And then the holy moly, it's your birthday. So we could pop that in there, couldn't we? That's quite cute. Yeah, so I think we'll go with that as being the layout. It's just a simple layout with a cute little mole in the middle. See what that looks like, shall we? So, and I think that's pretty much lined up where I want it as well, which is quite good. So you could do it off center, you could you know, for a little bit more interest, but I'm going to keep it dead central. Well, by eye central. I'm sure if Ant was to get his tape measure out and his spirit level, it would probably not be quite central, but it's central enough for me. So now we've cut that out. Now the lovely thing about this, of course, is that we have this bit here that we can use on another card. So you could have it as a spotlight on a spotlight kind of situation. They almost look like giraffe stripes, don't they? Spots. You could have it on a card base like this, layer that up. You could pop it on a 6 size card as a bit of a focal point. Just put another bit around it in terms of the background, and you're sorted. So that's cute, isn't it? Bear with me 1 second. One second, I'll just sort this out. There we go. Right. Let's have a look. Sorry, just had to just tidy a few bits up there. Right, let's get back onto this now then. So, we're very quiet today. Nobody's talking. What are we up to? So I need to now just think about, you know, when you've not been very well and sometimes you just it's taking you a while to think things through. That's what I'm doing. It's taking me a bit of thinking things through. So that does look very cute, doesn't it? Like that with the background. So you'd have your little guy there, peeking out, which is very cute. I don't know whether he feels like he might be a little bit lost because he's only a small image, isn't he? But I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be okay, you know. So I wondered whether to do a bit of a paler background. But I guess he's kind of popping out of the earth, isn't he? So maybe that works because he's coming out of the earth. So I'm wondering if we could stencil onto the back of this in a paler colour with the darker background. So a little bit like I've just explained, really. But I'm going to trial it on a scrap of cardstock because I don't want to spoil our card base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the stencil again, and I wonder if I can line it up. I can line it back up to the way that it was. So it must be that way round. That's it. So it's that way round. And then if I used maybe the tea dye. Let's try the tea dye because that's the lightest of the ink colours. Maybe not light enough. Maybe if I go for more of a yellowy look. I'm not sure this is going to really show up. Or does it need to be darker? Let's try a darker shade. So we're doing some experimenting tonight. Hope that's okay with everyone. Oh, the darker shade looks nice. Oh, let's have a look at that. Oh, I like the darker shade. That could really work, couldn't it? So let's try that then. So if we line this up with where it would be pretty much bang on there, wouldn't it? So let's get some of this darker shade on here in the middle. So it really is like popping up out of the ground. Oh my god, that looks so cute. Okay, I don't know if you can see that on camera so well, but it looks really cute. So can you? I don't know if you can see that on screen, but it does look really cute. The alternative, of course, is to take this piece, which is this piece here, and to pop this up, but you've kind of paper pieced it back in. But I like the idea of there being a bit of contrast there for the background. So although that the paper piecing does seem to work very well, I feel like it might need a little bit of splattering to lighten it up. So to do that, I'm going to use a bit of white here. I'm going to pop this back on to here as well. And I've got a bit of my white paint. Now, where have I popped that? There she is. And I'm going to pop a little bit of that onto this acrylic block. Literally the tiniest little tiniest little bit is required, and then a bit more water. I do need to cover everything up because I'm terrible for this. Particularly with the white, it just seems to get on absolutely everything. So, and I really don't need it to be on everything. There we go, I think that's enough. We don't need a lot, really don't need a lot. And I'm just splattering water on the rest of it now, just to oxidize with the ink, just to give it a little bit of a, I suppose, just to tone it down a little bit, give it a bit of texture so that it doesn't look flat, which is always good. We don't want any flat images, do we? So let's pop these inks back out of the way. And let's move that and give that a clean. So that's our background, and I'm going to let that dry, and then obviously we've got this to go over the top. So it's quite an earthy looking finish we've gone for. So we're going to use our little characters or our little character to bring it all to life now, and hopefully he won't look too lost. So we're going to add a pop of colour with our little mole. I might have to just go back over my my images to check how I coloured him in, because I can't really remember, if I'm honest. Like I say, it's been quite a while since I've been able to use this particular set because it just sells out so quickly. The stencil sells out every time, and the stamp set has been really popular and sold out. So, and like I say, we don't have many of them in at the moment. So if you are looking at the sale, then yeah, I would, and it's something that you've got your eye on. It would be advisable, I would say, to go and grab yours while it's there. So pop these out of the way because they're going to actually, I don't know, that went in my little folder, didn't it? So I'm guessing that these guys went in one of my clear storage pockets. So these have just been put on a piece of card with some magnetic strip, and then in my clear storage pockets. So yeah, if you haven't got your hands on those, that's another good one to have a look for in the sale there. So that just needs a little bit of I'm just going to grab a tissue just to blot some of the excess water, because we don't want it too watery. So I'm just going to blot some of that off there. I don't want to interfere with the paint droplets because they look really quite nice. They've gone a bit of a funny colour, so I'm going to take off the top of those. So that's looking quite cute. So we've got our background there. I don't know, I'm feeling whether it might be a bit dark. Whether we could have gone with a white background with you know, maybe a bit of blue in the background just to brighten it up a little bit. I might be tempted to do that, you know, because I don't want it to be looking too dark. So I've got a piece of cardstock here, and let's just do a little bit of blue. Let's just do a little bit of blue. That was a poem. and I didn't know it. So a bit of tumbled glass. Might go for a bit of salty ocean as well, just to brighten up this background. There we go, that's nice. And then we can add some of this tumbled glass over the top, just to soften those edges. Because the blue doesn't really make sense, but it kind of does, doesn't it? So I think I might be leaning towards the blue. So like I say, we're having a true experiment today, aren't we? Okay, so if I pop that on there and then that on there, I just feel like that does brighten things up a little bit, don't you? And then obviously we're going to have our little chap, or we could do these two chaps facing each other, because again it just makes it a little bit more full in terms of the picture. We could have our little worm. They're going to have some of the tools, because they're digging, aren't they? And like I say, we're going to have Holy Moly, It's Your Birthday in the background there. And we could even have a little butterfly floating above there as well. That could be sweet, couldn't it? Or we do this guy. Let's have a look. Let's have a little play now. We've got this guy here, and then his mate popping up with his little trowel to say, Holy moly, it's your birthday. Holy moly, guy, it's your birthday. Yeah, I think we might do that. That would be very cute, wouldn't it? So I think these are the images that I need. Might even have my little bee here as well. Don't think I need the little worm. I don't think there's any way for the worm. So settled, I think. Is this some of my good cards for stamping on? What are you doing? Fighting out here. This is a good little scrap here that we can use of stamping card. Let's just chop that in half. So these are my images that I'm going to use, and I'm going to stamp onto white cardstock with my sentiment as well. I think I need a little bit more, maybe blue behind here. So I'm just going to trim this piece down, so we don't need all of it, of course. Yeah, I feel that this is a good decision. I hope you guys agree that it just wasn't working for me with the darker background. I felt like it put a lot of pressure on the image to do all of the work creating the colour, and sometimes, you know, it needs a little bit more help than that. What did I do with my brush? Literally just had, there it is. What are you doing now? So we'll do a few splatters onto that background. So helpful, aren't you? More cats bombing. Hello there. I know what I would like, actually. have a little look in my little die folder. Excuse me, don't sit on that. No, I don't need you to sit. Oh, you're going to sit there. Okay, that's just great. Why don't you come sit over here? What's this? That's your bed, look. Yeah. Right, she's going to sit on her bed, look. Oh no, she's got back up again, goodness me. So, in my little book of dies here, I've got these clouds. I think I might cut a couple of clouds for the background as well, because I think that will look very sweet. So we'll get those ready as well. So my background is here. So that's that. That's going to sit onto there. And then that's going to sit on top, like so. That's much better, isn't it? Yes, it is. We'll have a couple of... Oh, I found a little... Where? How did that get stuck to you? You need to... Oh, goodness, there's no controlling this cat today. She's definitely wanting to get involved, aren't you? Okay, so... Goodness, look at the time, and we've not even... started doing any stamping yet, so let's get our images done, because we've got quite a few here, haven't we? So I'm going to pop these onto here. My bee, my little butterfly, and then my 2 sentiments, holy moly, and it's your birthday. And I might use a banner die for the holy moly, just so that it takes up a little bit more space, a bit more real estate we've got for it then, haven't we? So here we go. Oh, let me pick that one up. There we go. Let's pop that there, and we're going to do actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Lawn Fawn ink, because this is a really nice dark black ink, so it worked for my sentiments as well. Normally what I would do is I would stamp up my images with my Memento Tuxedo Black, and then my sentiments in VersaFine. So the Memento works well for my Copic markers and alcohol markers, doesn't it, Maisie? Yes, it does. But it tends not to be quite as dark for the sentiments. So what I like to do is I like to do those in the VersaFine, because that is just that little bit more intense in terms of colour. But it's all, you know, personal preference on what you've got in your stash as well. So the Memento works perfectly well. It's just, it's not as dark perhaps as the VersaFine. So let's give these a little bit of a clean. You can tell when I've kind of had a little bit of a break and I'm not as, you know, I'm a bit out of the loop with things, that the process does take a little bit longer, and I think you guys will probably, you know, be the same, because you've got lives and other things going on that mean that, you know, you perhaps end up having taken a break from your crafting, and then you know, it takes you a while to get back into your flow and for you to feel inspired again. So so yeah, it happens to us all. It's definitely something that I experience a lot. And you know, when you're putting yourself under I suppose a bit of pressure to do things to a certain deadline, like you know, when we're doing a live, it can sometimes be quite daunting to come up with the ideas and to experiment, but sometimes you've just got to experiment and have a little play, because that's the way that the ideas come, and that's how you learn. And yeah, so it's definitely worth you know, just persevering sometimes. Okay, so I'm just going to have a little look on the website. And I'm going to try and find the original artwork that I did for my little moles. Where are they? And then I can copy it, you see. The Really Dig You stamp set. Here we go. Oh, there they are. So this is them, and I can see that I've probably just used like a really nice warm grey for them. So I'm going to get that up on my screen. So again, this is a really good way. If we do that, because I don't want my screen to switch off. Yeah, if you're ever unsure of how to colour in your images, or you need a bit of inspiration, just go to the website and you'll find loads of inspiration on there with all of the different cards that people have made. So you can see someone here's made, Amanda, bless her, has made a really cute scene with the little guy coming out of a little mole hole there, which is cute. So a lovely scene from Amanda there, and some beautiful colouring. So if ever you're struggling for inspiration for how to colour in, you can use the website for that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my little characters here. Now I wonder if I can zoom in a little bit for you so that you can see what I'm doing a bit better. So I did promise you a bit of colouring in, so let's do some. I am in need of a few markers, but I think my N shade markers are okay at the moment, so I'm going to use those. So I'm starting with the N5, and I'm going to go all the way around my little character here. And again, I'm just using my image on the website. Oh, I can't speak tonight, can I? This is what I mean. It's you get out of the habit of speaking. I haven't been able to speak to anyone for so long, for a week or so, that it's, yeah, I've forgotten how to put words together, which, you know, I think Ant would find very surprising. Because he would say that you know, talking is not normally an issue for me. Okay, so a little bit around there, underneath the frame of his glasses, a little bit under his chin. Stop trying to eat all of my scissors. What are you doing, naughty little girl? You're being very naughty, aren't you, tonight? What's going on? You want some attention, don't you? I'm trying to do some colouring in here. Come on, sit down. She's being very, very naughty, isn't she? Oh, there. Excuse me, little one. So that's the N5. Come here, you. Let's pop you on there. That's it. And then we'll move to the N3, which is the next shade down. And we'll go around all of those edges that we've already coloured, and just pull that colour out and together. Add some colour to those little paws, paws. I guess they're paws, aren't they? And the same to this one. And then around those glasses. And what I've done on the original is I've tried not to make them too dark. Obviously moles are quite quite dark, aren't they? They're quite black, quite velvety looking, quite silvery, I suppose. So, but I don't want our images to look flat, so doing them in a grey gives the illusion that they're a darker colour, but they're not so dark that they just look like a flat image. So bit of the N0 now, just to fill the rest of that space in. And I'm just using a circular motion to blend in with the darker N3, because the N3 and the N0 are quite far apart. So you may get a little bit of a mottled effect when you get that close. You know, when you're trying to bring those colours together, because it is quite a big gap. So if that happens to you, which we've had a little bit of mottled effect there, and you know, I don't like that look. That's not the look that I was going for. So I'm going to take my N3 and my N0, and I'm going to pick up some of the ink that's kind of around the edges of that nib, and I'm going to use that to create a mid-tone, so that I can blend out those edges a bit more seamlessly. So if you've never done the kind of tip to tip technique, do give it a try, have a little practice at it. It's once you've got the knack of it, it is very, very simple, and it really works if you're struggling for that mid-tone, like we are here. And then we'll just pull the rest of that colour out, and you're just holding the lighter marker over the darker shade for a few seconds, so it just picks up some of that ink, and that will then allow you to create that extra colour. And if needs be, we can go in with the actual shade again, just to blend that to make it look more seamless. You can see now that that's just created a lovely seamless blend. Isn't he adorable? Really easy to colour, very, very cute, and it doesn't damage your pens at all, so don't worry about damaging your pens. I've put the wrong lid on each one there. There we go. And let's have a think. We've done some really cute little pink feet for this guy. So the RV 000 looks like that would be a cute little colour there. We'll just add a little bit of that pink there. Maybe a bit of RV10, just to make it stand out a little bit. It needs a dark nose, doesn't he, I think? Or do they have... I think I've given them pink noses, actually. I give them pink noses because it's quite cute. I don't think they actually have pink noses, but that's absolutely fine. But they do need... It does need some little eyebrows. So this is one of the favourite things about these images, are those little eyebrows, because they are just, I think that's what gives them a really unique character. Add a bit of blue to the glasses, but nothing too scary, because we don't want them to look fully blue. So I'm going to use the blender pen just to smudge those out a little bit. So that's adorable. I did use a bit of blue on the handles, but I'm going to use a contrasting colour, a colour that we've not used yet, and a colour that I think is going to be quite, which is going to be quite nice lift to everything, and maybe that could possibly be a bit of maybe a bit of purple or a bit of pink. I'm torn. I think I'm going to go with the pink, you know, just because it'll just add a little bit of a lift there, and I think I'll do the same with the with this little butterfly. Just make her pink. Her, I don't know why she's a her, but she is. So the same sort of pink that we've used previously. And then I think I'm going to say a little bit of yellow. Let's have a look. Oh, that's a nice yellow, isn't it? This is the YR31, which is a bit more of a muted yellow, I guess, but it's a nice bumblebee yellow, I think. And I think we'll use it for the little tulip there. Yeah, I think that's really cute. We'll have a couple of little yellowy tulips. This bit here obviously is going to be a little bit of the kind of an earthy colour. So if I refer to my colour chart in terms of what a good earthy colour is going to be, I think I'm going to go with the 40 shades, the E42, that sort of colour, kind of the clay family. So just a little bit of that around the outside edge, around all of the little pebbles. This is just such a cute little image to colour. And then the E42. These are some of my favourite shades of the brown shades, because they are very versatile. So you can use them for your critters, so rabbits, mice, all of those things. They're really, really good for. So I'm just going to go in with the E44. Sorry, I keep forgetting to show you what colour I'm using. Just to go around the edges wherever there's likely to be any more shadow, just to create that bit more depth. Because I think that's definitely worthwhile doing. Just gives you that little bit more texture. Just add a few little dots and stripes along the way as well, because again, that's just giving you a little bit more feeling that this is a textured piece of earth and not just a flat image. And just blend some of those bits out. Very cute. A pop of green I think is required here, so the YG25 is always a very good one for a really nice yellowy green. Again, I'm not going to go wild because we just keep it really nice and simple. For our little butterfly, I do feel like she needs a bit more of a pop of colour. So I was tempted to do maybe a purple, add a little bit of purple, or there's this lovely fuchsia colour. So I do think that I'm going to go with the fuchsia, because I think that that's just going to look really cute. And we used the RV21 with that, so I'll just pull that colour out of the wings there as well, just to give her a little bit of a, like I say, just brighten her up a little bit. The rocks and then the trowel, I think I'm going to do in the cool greys. So a bit of cool grey 5 will be great for this. So Just add a few little bits of that around the areas that will be potentially the darkest. Same with the trowel. And then the cool grey 3, just to blend some of that out. For the most part, I do use three shades because I think that does give the best colour contrast and depth. You can achieve it with 2. For really small areas, you can just use 1. And like I say, if you've got 2 colours that are quite far apart in terms of the scale, using those 2 together with that method of tip to tip, that will help you create a 3rd shade if you don't already have one. So say you've got a C3 and a C7, you would normally have a C5 in between, but if you haven't got that, then you can use the 2 together to create a mid shade. So that's a top tip. Top tip for a Friday night on a bank holiday. We love the top tips. We love a bank holiday sale, so if you haven't already checked out the website, details are on the top of the screen. We are having a wonderful 40% off sale this weekend, so excuse me, I do still have a little bit of a stuffy nose, which you can probably hear a little bit now. It's starting to, it feels like it's starting to come on in a weird way, the more I talk. But I mean, there were points last week where I couldn't talk for more than a few minutes before having an absolute coughing fit, which was horrendous and horrible, and I was horrible to be around, because who wants to listen to that, really? Nobody. So that's my little mole in his hole. That would be that one. And then we've got a little trowel, we've got a little bee, and we've got a little butterfly. There we go. I love all the little accessories in this set as well. It's very cute for you to be able to build. So I'm going to pop this die onto here without getting my head in screen, hopefully. And a little trowel on here. This is, I'm so glad that I got to colour these in for you this week, because we did say that's what we were going to do, and I was worried that we wouldn't have enough time, but we did start a little bit late, so I am forgiving myself for the amount of time that it's taking, because like I said, we did start a wee bit later than intended because technical difficulties were happening. I've just realised I've not coloured in the frame of his glasses, have I? What colour should we do those? Should we do those that fuchsia pink, so it stands out a little bit? That would be quite cute. Fuchsia pink frames on his glasses. What a cool guy. Holy moly. So we're going to do butterfly on there, and then I do want, like I say, I wanted a few little, I've got my scrap of white here, I wanted a couple of little these are really cute because they're the outline, and I have a feeling that I might do as some of that, because we don't have to, you don't have to use it all. You can actually cut it in half, which I'll show you when I do it. Hello there. You all right there, little one? Let's just go back to the folder and grab our fishtail banner dies, because these would be really cute to use as well. for this. Excited. So we've got the Holy Moly, and you can either use this banner die here, which will create a little bit of a fold, or we can use this banner die here to create a little bit of a bit more of a statement is the word I'm looking for. So yeah, we could do that. Obviously we don't need to use all of it, or we could use the coordinating dies. So we've got Holy Moly, which you see that would be quite small, I feel. So I think I'm going to go with this, but I'm going to cut it down so it's not quite as long, because it doesn't need to be as long as this. So we'll pop that there. Try and get it straight. Come on. There we go. The It's Your Birthday, I don't know whether to just stamp that directly onto the back there, rather than having that popped up. So I think I might do that for that bit. That's my thoughts. I'm going to stick this on our background as well now, because we've decided we're going for a pretty blue background, haven't we? So pretty blue background is in place there. Excellent. And then that's going to go over the top there. So now I know where I need to stamp my sentiment. But first up, let's do some die cutting. Am I too scrunched in? Shall I come out a little bit? That's too far. I don't know, I quite liked it a bit scrunched in. You get a good view, don't you, then, of what's going on. So little molds first. I'm using my little mini die cutting machine because it is perfect for these small images. There we go. And then we'll do my Holy Moly, which I'll have to put through twice. So for these small images, you don't want to be putting them through a big giant die cutting machine. You want to be popping them through a smaller die cutting machine, because it's just that much quicker and they're less likely to go roaming around on your die machine. You've got a bit more control. So yeah, and they are much more portable, of course. The only thing is that if you have got the larger, like the square dies, obviously you need a bigger machine for those. But for the smaller dies, this is ideal. Okay, so we've got our gorgeous clouds. This is such an undervalued, I think, and underappreciated and underused die in my view. I sometimes forget to use it myself, but look how cute that is in terms of just the background that it's giving you without taking away from your background. If I was to use a cloud die that was solid, it would totally dominate that background, but this really doesn't. So we've got a bit of cat fluff on our project as usual. So yeah, so we've got a little bit of a cloud going on there, and we've got the Holy Moly. It's Your Birthday could go at the bottom actually now, because we've got a cloud there. Oh, see how it's changed the situation. So let's take these dies off here and have another look at what we're going to do with this layout. So I'll just move that there. I need to cut my sentiment one more time, don't I? So I will do that. Holy moly! Oh, very cute. It's got his little trowel. And we've got a little bee. I kind of wish that the little butterfly was a different colour now, but hey ho, I didn't really fully think it through. So your little mole here actually doesn't cut all the way around. The reason for that is if you wanted to continue your scene beyond the edges of where the stamp is drawn, you can do that. So you can continue him across a full page and then cut it to the size you want. So all you need to do is just basically just trim the edges and you've got him there. So you can slot him then behind something, see, like so. Very, very adorable. So he's just poking out there and his little mate is up there with his trowel. I'm not keen on the pink. The pink butterfly is now not vibing with the pink trowel, so I either change the colour of the trowel or I don't use the little butterfly. I might change the colour of my trowel. But I like my bee. I like my clouds. I think my clouds are really helpful because they create a little bit of something in my background there, because we do have quite a lot of white space in the background. But they are very cute because they're having a little chat with each other. So we've got that going on there. And we can have just the little bee there, there, holy moly there. It's your birthday down here, and then we need our little butterfly, don't we? So I might have to change the colour of my trowel. So to change the colour of my trowel, I'm going to go purple because it will go over the colour of my trowel really easily. Lovely. There you go. Fixed it, and now it doesn't clash with my go on, with my butterfly. Okay, so next up is to cut out this secondary sentiment. It's your birthday. So we're going to pop that on there. That can go in the bin. And then I need to move this die down a little bit. So you see it's cut out the little fishtail at this side, but I want to move it down so that we've got pretty much the same amount of white space at the other side of the sentiment, and just line that up with the where it was spaced before, and that will cut out a nice little banner at the other end. So let's just take that bit off there. We can fit both of these through the die machine at the same time, and we pop this through. Hello, if you're just joining us, we're making some little moles. So we've got our cute little moles that are popping up from this cute stencil. So we've got Holy Moly. I'll pop that on there. And then this one has been used with the coordinating die to say, it's your birthday. Holy moly, it's your birthday. Cute. So we can start popping this together now. Now we've got an idea of what we're doing. So the clouds and the little mole, they're going to sit behind this scene. So, and they're going to sit pretty much where they are, just there, aren't they? So let's move that out of the way. This is sticking out a little bit too much, so I'm going to trim off the edges there, and then let's just use this to remind ourselves where everything needs to be. That's pretty much pretty much bang on, isn't it? So we'll start with this one. So this one's a little bit more tricky. To help us do this, I'm going to use my reverse action tweezers, and then we're going to use a little bit of liquid glue. You could, if you wanted to make this a little bit easier, you could cut this using some of the what do you call it? It's like the sticker sheets. So you would add your cardstock to your sticker sheet and then pop that through your die cutting machine with the die, or you can run it through one of those, is it a Xyron like sticker maker? So I think that that's in about the right place, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hold it in a slightly different area so that I can pop this back in place and slot that back in there. And I think that that's about right, just there. Let's double check. Yeah, that looks great there. And then this chap, make sure that he's fully sticking out. And you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to add a little slice around this little flower so that I can pop the flower in front. So this is going to be a bit of a delicate little trick, but the idea being that you could just pop the flower in front like so. So that could be cute, although I am going to pop this up so it may not come through, but yeah, that's quite a cute little idea, isn't it? So that would go there, and then our little mole friend would go there, wouldn't he? That's cute. Maybe that won't stick all the way out, but I do like him sticking that far up, so I just need to add a little bit more colour along the bottom of here. So we'll just add a bit more colour down there, and then because I know that that's where I want him to sit, it's a good idea just to add a little bit of pencil there and at the edge there, so that when I come to line him back up, I'm going to be lining him up in exactly the right place. So I don't know if I'm just not seeing any comments or if people aren't talking today. I don't know. What do you think? But yeah, I'm not seeing any of your comments, so do say hello if you're there. Otherwise I feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay, so we've got our little mole now, so we can add this bit over the top now, and I think that works really nice. So but I'm gonna pop this up on a bit of foam. So we're going to get some of our lovely wide foam roll here. And I think just before I stick this down, one thing that I just want to do, actually just thinking about it, is to give it a chance to dry, I'm going to add some of my white highlights, which you guys know is something that I love to do. Oh, and I've still not done his frames, have I? Look. So a few little highlights. I've not given him any rosy cheeks, which is something that I would normally do, but let's add a little bit of pink to those cheeks, and then let's give him some funky purple frames. There we go. He's got some purple frames. And his mate might have to have some pink ones, maybe, or maybe yellow. So we've got a little bit of little bit of highlight on our little guy here and a few little dots on those cheeks. And then now we can add a bit of foam on the back here. So a bit of foam. There we go. And some on there. Oh. This is going to give it a lovely bit of dimension. And I know some of you guys have a good Friday night watching a few different craft channels, don't you? So yeah, I hope you're all having a good crafty thon. I'm feeling like I'm definitely getting Friday night vibes now. It's the weekend. So for myself and Ant, it's actually not the weekend really until tomorrow, because we run another business. We run a salon, and Saturday is our busiest day of the week usually. So we will be there tomorrow, doing our thing there. So we'll be at the salon all day tomorrow, which is pretty cool. We love being there, especially when it's busy. So that means that our weekend is actually Sunday and Monday. So tomorrow night is really where our weekend begins. So we're going to have this little guy here, we're going to have this little guy here, and we got a little buzzy bee over here. Maybe he can go up there, or even maybe there. Yeah, let's have him there, and then him there. So I'm going to go with some green glasses. There we go, bit of green. That works really quite nicely. So we're getting there, aren't we? So let's have a bit of foam on the back of this chap. I'll use some of my smaller, oh well, I know, we'll have a little chunky bit first. So a bit of foam tape, and you want to try and keep your foam tape the same depth. So if you are using smaller bits, that's why I like to use our foam tape, because it's all the same depth, so you're not going to get any differences in you know, how it stands. So for this guy, I want him to pop up on the front, but I need him to have a bit more support there for the trowel. Do you see that? Because we've already got a layer of foam here, he needs a little bit of extra support. So that's fine, because we can just layer another piece of our foam tape over the top. So I just cut that, and the trowel itself is then going to be two pieces of foam tape deep, if that makes sense. So we now need to have a little bit of bit onto our little buzzy bee. So again, I'm going to use some tiny bit of foam on the back of there to pop him up just there, and then I'm going to have to use my quick sticks tool to pick this guy up, because he's too small. My fingernails are too annoying. So I'll take the backing off that one and just get this guy fixed in place, and do the same with the little buzzy bee. Little bee can just sit there, and then we can remove the tape off this one now, so we know he's going to be fully supported there. So I think I'm going to pop him just there. It looks like he's about to attack him with his trowel, maybe. Does he need to be a bit closer? Let's see if we can move him a little bit closer. Holy moly! Holy moly, I'm about to pop you on the nose with my trowel. Right, and a bit of tape onto there. So the shaker tape fits perfectly with the fishtail banner dies. So I'm hoping that that's pretty central. We'll go with it, and then we'll add a bit of foam to this one. And again, the shaker tape typically fits with the size of font that we use for all our sentiments, so you can see that you can add your tape comfortably on the back of there, and then you're not going to not see start that again. You're not going to see the tape behind the sentiment. Goodness, that was tricky to get my words out there. So we've now got pretty much our finished card here, which is looking pretty spectacular. I'm going to add some of my little highlights here. So I've just put on my reading glasses so I can see what I'm doing. Let's add some here. Again, I need to add a little bit of cheekiness. Love that. And then we'll just do same for our little butterfly. Cute. And the cheek. That's what I was going to do, wasn't I? The cheek. Cheek to cheek. I think I used the RV11 because it's the same sort of tones that we've used throughout, but it'll stand out against the grey. So sometimes your paler pinks don't really stand out very well. So there we go. And then the finishing touch that I always like to do, and you know that I love doing this, is to get my glaze pen. I'm just going to knock off. If you've not used it for a while, the tip can get a little bit snotty. Horrible phrase, I know, but it is true. And then if you just apply a bit of pressure, so this has not been used for a while, so it's not flowing as well as it typically would. So I'm just rubbing off what's on the top there, and then I'm just going to just get that ink flowing by pressing the nib really gently onto my surface, and eventually we should encourage that ink to start flowing, she says. It's just because it's not been used for a while, so it sometimes needs to warm up a little bit. And the trick is to really use light pressure. Don't try and press too hard or try and force the ink, because it will come. You can see, look, it's now starting to flow. A bit of warmth and a bit of gentle encouragement will get that going again. And it's important, if you do have these pens, is to use them pretty regularly, because if you don't, this is, you know, they do get a bit dried up and a bit harder to use. So, but I think this is starting to flow now, so we might be I might be able to use it enough to get a little bit of a... See, we're just getting rid of some of that that snottiness. It's just not quite as dark as I would like it yet. So you don't want to sit and watch me doing that, bringing that back to life, do you? We do have the black Jelly Roll pen as well, so let's see how that one's working. This is a bit more of a matte finish, so it won't give you a glossy eye, but it will reinforce the black. So again, you can see, look, because it's not been used for a while, it's not going to give me that intense colour. So we might have to park this one for a little while, just till I get those working again. But that is a top tip, really, that you do need to keep using your pens. I think I'm gonna be able to get a bit of glaze out of this one now. Look, yeah, look, we've done that. That's got a bit of glaze in it. And again, you probably can't see the difference massively on screen, but in real life it does make a difference to those eyes. Just giving them a little bit of a glaze does then mean that they shine in person. So yeah, I need to make sure that I'm using my my glaze pen a bit more and get that flowing properly. But we managed to use enough. So there we go. That is our finished card for today. Holy moly, it's your birthday. You could add some enamel drops maybe around the outside as well, which would be quite cute. But yeah, I think that's turned out really cute. So a little quick reminder that we do have the sale going on at the moment, so 40% off everything at the moment. That's until Monday at midnight, so you've got all bank holiday to have a browse round and find some bargains, and these guys are in the sale until they sell out, so if you want the little moles, then do check those out. Thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna see if I can just change over to say goodbye to everyone. It's been a quiet one in terms of comments, and I don't know whether that's just because I can't see them or whether you guys are all just watching while you're crafting and chilling with family. But either way, I'm so pleased that you could join me and help me with my cute little card today. Can you see that okay? So yeah, so we'll be back again next week. So next week is going to be the day before we're on Hobby Maker. So what I will say is we may be doing some prep next week. It depends how much I've managed to get done. So, and then we'll be on Hobby Maker on the Saturday afternoon. I think I'm on at 3 o'clock. It could be 4 o'clock. Mid-afternoon, you know, kind of mid to late afternoon time. Yeah, we'll have some cute bargains for you then, but I would say that the sale that we've got going on at the moment probably is just that little touch better for some items. So yeah, so I would grab those now while you can. Yeah, so have a lovely crafty weekend, everyone. I'm going to go and I think I'm going to go and have a cup of tea because it's time for tea. And I'm going to go and see what these cats are up to. That's our cute little card for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, and it's your first time visiting us, then please like and subscribe us on YouTube. You can watch us on Facebook. You can watch us on both at the same time if you want to. But we hope that you come back next week and watch us again. Thank you ever so much, guys. Have a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.